What's up, everybody? It's Pretender, and I'm bringing you a change of pace today. And I didn't. This is I'm playing this while I'm commentating, so you could call it a live commentary. But I'm not really going to be talking about the game because most likely what you're going to see is a lot of me dying very quickly. Um, I have never attempted to play this game with my setup here. I don't think it's going to turn out too well at all because this game already is the controls are not like ridiculously tight like Call of Duty. They're kind of they're good controls. They're just they feel. I mean, CNN had a good way of putting it. They're kind of like your controllers just bouncing around everywhere. And if you play it for a while, you get a good hold on everything, and you're like, okay, I got this. And it feels a lot different from Call of Duty. But after a while, you get used to it, get into the swing of things, so it all turns out okay. Anyways, not what I was going to talk about. Today I actually wanted to talk about something that Woody's Gamertag brought up, and I'm sure all you guys know him. Really one of the biggest commentators out there. Anyways, I was watching one of his videos today, and wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. He was talking about Infinity Ward versus Treyarch, and I thought that was a really good discussion he had going on. But what I wanted to add to that, so I may try and post this as a video response, but what I wanted to add to that was a little bit of background with regards to the future of Call of Duty and Modern Warfare and such, because a lot of people, I think, are still under the impression that Infinity Ward is making the next Call of Duty game, and that would be really cool if that were the case, but actually it's a little different than that, a little more complicated. So I'll try and explain it as best as I can. Hopefully you guys can get a good understanding of things then. It is a little odd that I know as much about it as I do, but I do try and stay on top of gaming related things. So anyways, what happened basically was Modern Warfare 2 comes out. Alright, and that was of course Infinity Ward. And so Infinity Ward kind of started the whole Call of Duty franchise, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And Call of Duty 1, which is widely regarded as one of the best Call of Duties ever. Call of Duty 2 again, that's in like the top 2 or so. Then there's Call of Duty 3, which is in Treyarch. They had a couple months to develop it, so I don't have a lot to say about that game other than they did what they could with the time allotted. But we're not talking about that really right now. So we go back to Infinity Ward. So Call of Duty 4. And so one of the things Woody was talking about a lot was the innovation that you seem to get with the Infinity Ward developed Call of Duty games. And he's definitely got a good point there, because a lot of the Infinity War games are just like you're blown away, because it's like, wow, look at this. I mean, now we got all these kill streaks and crazy stuff, and then Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and it's even like more in depth when it comes to kill streaks, and customization was crazy. I mean, you had 2 different variants of pretty much the same scope, which was copied in Black Ops, although I think people were a little more surprised by it in Black Ops than Modern Warfare 2. But anyways, so in Infinity Ward, really, it did seem like they were definitely on the cutting edge of things pretty much every time. And, you're just kind of blown away. And then it's like Treyarch comes in kind of they did a good job. It's just, it does seem very familiar a lot of times. So, anyways, basically what happens is we're here now. Black Ops has come out, and everyone's waiting for it's only been about a year, but everyone's waiting for Modern Warfare 3. Everyone's like, okay, there was the one site that was actually turned out to be a countdown for a Modern Warfare fan film, but everyone was all excited because they thought it was Modern Warfare 3. And so what I'd like to I'm kind of rambling around, and the point that I wanted to get to eventually was Infinity Ward really no longer exists as we once knew it, or even, I mean, in my opinion, Infinity Ward is dead. There's no Infinity Ward, and technically there is a company called Infinity Ward still, but I really don't view it as the same thing as it once was, and I think I have good reason to do so. So, literally exactly 1 year ago, this is the anniversary, you could call it, of Infinity Ward's leaving Activision. No, it didn't leave Activision. What happened was Activision fired Weston Zampella, the heads of the company, or who created Infinity Ward. And I'm not going to go into why, because that's very convoluted and both sides has their individual story. I'm not a huge fan of either at this point, because Infinity Ward didn't support Modern Warfare 2 like they should have. But at the same time, Activision is like a scum-sucking, money-grubbing, just a terrible company. You know, in my eyes, almost as bad as Apple is, but that's just going to cause a bunch of rage. So basically, opinions aside, Activision fired Infinity Ward and or fired the creators of Infinity Ward, and then quite a bit of the talent that came along with that. So it wasn't just West and Zampella that were fired. I mean, quite a bit of the rest of the company was fired also. And I mean, you're not gonna that would be like firing, you know, Steve Jobs and everyone else who's in charge of the higher up stuff at Apple, the designers, everything. I mean, even people who didn't do it, just fire everyone at Apple, bring in a totally new set of people that, you know, totally unrelated, but they happen to, like, let's say you take everyone from the HTC team and dump them, and you're like, okay, you guys are now in charge of Apple. I mean, they made technology before, but it's not the same thing. It was Apple before, and it's not anymore. It's just a company called Apple. So, in my opinion, Infinity Ward is no longer a game developer. There's a company called Infinity Ward. It is not the same Infinity Ward as it once was, and it will never be. So, what that brings us to now is, basically, if there's no Infinity Ward, not only are you not getting the same Infinity Ward that we once had for Modern Warfare 3, it's also come down to the fact that Infinity Ward, what's left of it, is only a small part of Modern Warfare 3. I think that's assuming it's going to be called that. It's only a small part of Modern Warfare 3 at this point. Modern Warfare 3 is being developed by 3 different developers: Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, and what's left of Infinity Ward after they quote-unquote reconstructed it. So, how that game's going to turn out remains to be seen. I think that it's Call of Duty, so there's not too much they can do to screw it up at this point. You know, I'm hoping that we're going to get some of the same innovation that we've seen with the real Infinity Ward, because, you know, I definitely agree with the basic point that Black Ops is very balanced. I mean, to the point that I'm not sure, I mean, what its longevity is, because not only does it have the shadow of Modern Warfare 2 hanging over it, and the fact that it's, you know, very, very similar to Modern Warfare 2, it's also got that balance, which makes for several. Whoa, what just happened? Oh yeah, the game ended. So it's got that balance, which pretty much means that you've got a game that is not only similar, but it's kind of stale after a while, because you can use pretty much anything and be effective. With regards to some of the crappier pistols and such, not pistols, submachine guns and everything. So I'm going to kind of wrap this up, but basically, Infinity Ward really doesn't exist anymore. Weston Zampella founded a new company. It's called Respawn Entertainment. They may or may not have hired some of the other people that got fired by Activision that used to work for them. Respawn Entertainment is now under EA. That's who's publishing their games. So I would advise looking that up. Maybe I'll see if they have a link to their website I could put in the description. I would look for them to be putting out some good games in the future, but hopefully Modern Warfare 3 will turn out okay. Well, basically, Infinity Ward doesn't really exist anymore. Modern Warfare 3 is being developed by 3 different developers, and it's not really the same as cut and dried anymore as Infinity Ward versus Treyarch, because Treyarch is technically now the main developer of Call of Duty at this point. They took over that after Black Ops. So anyways, I'll have to see if there's any more news about this later. Hope this cleared things up for a couple of you guys. I mean, if this does get posted as a video response to Woody's video, that would be awesome, because then more people would have a good understanding of what I'm talking about. But anyways, hope you guys like this. It was a little opinion heavy again. I always go into this thinking I'm not going to say stupid things, but rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.